I'm Bob Jordan from the Wisdom Corner. I think the last time the three of us were together, we found out you guys can get 70% of private funds where they will look at the deal. And I've been talking to two private investors to have them fund your front money, the 70% up to the 100%. Zach Goins, he's also in charge of the Millennial Group on the webpage. I want to know why you decided this interested you from a primary reason.
For a primary reason, it is a reliable source of income throughout the years of my life, and it solves the major issue that I've had for the past 5 years, and that's finding a job.
Okay, so finding a job and then having some kind of a path where you can build a better life and that kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay, good. The gentleman facing the camera on the left is Ramel Williams. So would you tell me why you got interested, sir?
Definitely, number one primary reason I say for myself is just thinking about the future. I know me and Bob have had conversations about millennials and just the future of where the country's going, and we know it's kind of going down the crapper, so to speak. And I think right now, being in my early 30s, I need to start thinking about my future and stop thinking about jobs, but thinking about investment, see how I can survive the long haul, but also think about my future when I have future children and things of that nature. So I need something substantial, that's going to be great, for just not for myself and my future, but also that will hold me for a long time, because where the economy is going now, it's not looking good. But it's been test time proven, what I've seen just even doing my research before, speaking with great people like Bob and Steve, who are experienced, is that real estate is the way to go, period. It's something that always is constant, always consistent. It's not like a job where you can be hired today and be gone tomorrow. It's something that can really help you in the long haul. So that's definitely why I've been highly interested.
So you're looking at growth for your income in a long-term thing?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And for your life like I did?
Yes, sir.
I've had 40-odd years now, and Zach, you've seen checks in the last 2 weeks, 2 different checks come in?
Yep.
Those are rent checks for a single apartment? Well, the checks for $740, and there's just 2 of them, and that happens to be an 8-plex and a single. Do you think the $1,500 a month would help you at this time?
It would.
Lee?
Yes.
We've known each other 20 years?
Yes, we have.
Lee was a college student. He has a pedigree. He doesn't have a degree, he has a pedigree from a private institution of learning. And he was typical of being a student, a good student at his college, which happened to be across the street from one of the 4 properties that were around that area that I had a ownership in. And Lee was a good guy, and he started renting the property, and then before you know it, he and another guy were working with me part-time and doing stuff on the properties, and I gave him an income opportunity, and also he was a great guy to work with, and he learned a lot, didn't you, Lee?
Oh, I learned a whole lot.
Well, tell me, Lee, after all this time, and you graduated with honors from your school,
Yes, sir.
and you've been up and down and seen the economy and different jobs and all these things,
Oh, yes.
we're in Atlanta, Georgia, right, gentlemen?
All right.
Did you ever see any properties with me all these years?
Oh, all the time.
So did you find any of the people weren't friendly with me?
Yeah, everybody was.
Did you see most of them were older people, seniors like myself now? Well, you remember going out on properties and helping me with stuff, and you saw older people and they were very, very friendly?
Absolutely.
And they always treated me with respect, and I treated them with respect?
It's the Southern way.
But it is the...
Family from Texas to prove it.
Yeah, and it's the best way to treat tenants because they are the ones that make all this possible. The gentleman in the center on Skype is Lee Slater. So, Lee, what makes you still interested?
I think that it's great to have a stable income, but it's really wonderful to do something that you enjoy doing. I've been in some tough schoolyard situations, have a background of working in education, where it hasn't always been fun to come home at the end of the day. But this is something that allows me to still do what I do in terms of tutoring kids and helping youngsters get that education, because that's something that I believe in, but it also helps me give back in another way, and I love that.
Now, let me ask a question, Lee. Within the last 4 months of the last year, you and I have driven down to the city when you're visiting Atlanta?
We have. We've been able to trip across, and I literally mean trip across dozens of properties on a number of streets that are well located in terms of being able to be central access to highways, freeways, other types of care that seniors
Hospitals?
need, and they're in their neighborhoods that they've lived in all their life.
But I always have preferred dealing with the properties of where older people are, and anything under the niche one I like is the 4, the 6, or the 8. Now, you've had experience going out there and looking with me. Did you see enough of them out there?
Oh, there's more than enough.
Do you see where the yield or how much money is available for you to make if you take care of older people well and you maintain the property and you upgrade it?
Oh yes, almost. I mean, so much money available there.
Now, let me ask you a question. Were you shocked at the amount of money that you can buy these properties and then fix them up, and then it doesn't drive you crazy and it makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, compared, like you said, compared to the higher end areas, it was like, oh my, like, why are more people doing this? I couldn't believe it.
Zach, now you've gone on this yard, you completely renovated the whole yard, and I could almost say you could go out and do that to make a living, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be afraid of it.
No.
So you're not afraid of doing any of the rework stuff and cleaning up and making sure everything looks better, right?
No.
Oh, it's definitely right where I started began. Getting into the trenches, it's rare that you get a master builder on your side who knows how to show you how to do things in a proper fashion, and it paid off big time.
So basically, it's something anyone can learn to do if they have the right attitude. Ramel?
Agreed.
Now, you've known me for about a year now. Is attitude important?
Very important.
And let me ask a question. If you have a successful attitude and you feel happier and you're accomplishing things, does life get better?
Oh, it's so much better.
I've seen it from working with them at the high school level all the way up to even older than myself. When you have quality folks in the room and they put their best foot forward, wonderful things happen every time.
Now, at the last meeting you were here where we did a meeting with an actual private banker in this house, right?
That's right.
And all three of you found out that they were interested in the deal. They weren't particularly interested in other than what your reputation is for getting things done and who you were associated with in terms of how you know what you know and get things done what you do, and if you got the proper mentoring and proper counseling and proper help along the way, they provide the money.
Yep.
Now, you feel rest assured in that?
Very rest assured.
Okay, so let's assume they provided private money. Zach, tell me how long after you bought your property and it was fixed up, how long would it take you to fix it up about?
Months to a month and a half.
Okay, a month. You've heard that going on a couple of times now?
Yep.
You've seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah, okay. How about you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the question is, Lee, you know it does that because you used to have to do it. So let me ask you a question. If you rented it out, would you have any trouble renting it to 10,000 people a week in this country who are retiring? Would you have any trouble?
No.
Not at all. No.
I would say no.
You have the house is done up, but the property is, the apartment is done up to the code, and it's decorated outside nicely, and it's clean, and people are friendly. Now, let me ask you a question. If you decided after 6 months and you were to put the money from the rent in a bank, in a community bank or a credit union, and you walked up to them and said, look, I bought this property. The property now is been appraised by an appraiser accepted by your bank. You'll make your own, I suspect, but it was one of yours because I got a referral from your bank while I was depositing money, and here's the accounts for 6 months, and it brings in roughly $2,000, $2,400 a month, steady, and I'd like to get a loan for 65% of the property. Did you hear about anybody doing that recently in this group?
Yep.
So basically, the person fixed up a property for around 50 grand total, 4 apartments. And is he doing another one recently? in the same year.
Yes. Yeah.
So therefore, he's got 2 raises coming this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's his income? Do you remember a month?
I don't remember.
Well, these are the things that's important because he has $400 a day coming in, $365 a year. His income was roughly $140,000, and he has an excellent team, an excellent manager, and you've learned all those things, and that's what we'll be providing, and you guys will participate.
Yep.
Yes.
Next question: what do you look forward to, Zach, in the next year? Because there's only 3 months left this year, and I want you prepared to get going next year.
I look forward to buying my first property, getting it done as I have seen before in a month to a month and a half, waiting 4 to 6 months to season the property, getting a refinance, and doing it again.
Do you feel at all uneasy about that? Because you've seen it right in front of you, haven't you?
I do not feel uneasy at all.
Ramel, how about you?
No, I'm excited. I just can't wait to start this.
Lee?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the California real estate market matching up with the rest of the country.
You'll be coming back here, Lee, to invest and going back out there to play.
That's exactly what I'm
There you
looking
go.
forward to.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, I definitely have seen the fruits of the labor. I know that now's the time to get it done, and I'm just ready to roll.
Well, and that's good. You'll be coming around Christmas time or sometime?
Yes.
We're going to call this thing to be done, and you've got a viewpoint of what young people who should be taking excellent jobs and positions not have to worry about their income if they know how to learn how to do things correctly, properly, get them done, accomplish them, feel good about themselves, and have a raise or 2 every year, 12 to 24,000, in fact up to 81,000 in any given year once you learn how to do it properly.